Alrighty guys, alrighty. So in this section, it is called confluences because I want to show you what trades actually look like when you use multiple confluences. You know what I'm saying? So I kind of want to go back over here. This was a trade that me and a bunch of friends actually took. I'm going to just put the replay bar just so that way you can see. So basically here, just going on the 4 hour, as you guys can see, we do have new higher highs. We do have this super, as you guys can see, super ridiculously strong form of resistance right here. And as you guys can see, we officially just broke it after making new higher highs on the previous 4 hours in the Fibonacci buy zone. Boom, our EMAs crossed, but they never came back to retest this one. But as you guys can see, it aggressively crossed. We're bullish, new higher highs being created. And then if we go to the smaller time frames, like the 1 hour, that's when things start to look kind of really good on the EMAs also. We're respecting the moving average of the 50, basically showing rejections to the downside. Also a huge, beautiful cross right here, aggressively. Then we go to our smaller time frames and we catch the setup. So as you guys can see, we're just going to run our Fibonacci from here to here using multiple confluences. 30-minute as well. Look at that. Another form of support in this area right here. And let's just press play. Now look at this. As you guys see, we came down, boom, retested again, retested again, retested again, retested again here. That's 3 retests. So now look at this. I'm going to go to the 4 hour. And since we are creating new higher highs and we don't have anything over here to target like supplies and demand zones and support and resistance, we're going to go here to previous day. And we're going to draw a line right here. And look at this. Boom. Isn't that perfect? Isn't that clean? There you go. Just make that faster. So that was a really, really good move right there. We had a whole bunch of confluences in place. And as you guys can see, after this consolidation, which was normal, basically we had a really big push coming to the London session, New York session, and boom, we just mopped up this beautiful trade right here. Although it looks like a humongous trade, guys, it's really not. It's just only 93 pips only. You know what I'm saying? For a possible 18 pips to lose possibly 18, 20 pips to make almost 100 pips. Don't worry, guys, you know. That's what confluences, man. Look at those beautiful confluences. That was a whole bunch of beautiful, beautiful, beautiful confluences all in one right there. So that's a really good setup that you guys want to look for. Always, 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 always. So let's go to GJ. And let's go to the daily. Right here. That's a target right there. So notice how this is a nice little channel that's happening right here, going to the upside. Right there. We have new higher highs being created. So basically, we can definitely assume that this level, which was once resistance, broken through, retested as support, as you guys can see. You can definitely see that if price does break above here and pull back, we are most likely to touch the next resistance, which is 95. And that's exactly what we kept doing here. We kept going and going and finding the next and previous resistance. So as you guys can see, it always happens. Remember, these are the confluences we are looking for. Remember, let's go look at more examples here. As you guys can see, beautiful. Entry, boom, Fibonacci, boom. As you guys can see, looking over here, looking over here. Super clean. Bam. Look at that, man. This is really, really good confluences. Let's go to GBP AUD. So let's go to the 4 hour. One thing about GBP AUD, it's been looking kind of ugly lately, not gonna lie. Really not much you can do here. Just go off the daily first. So in the daily, as you guys can see, we are in a little uptrend. We've been in an uptrend forever. This is just quick little lines right here, guys. So notice how we're in this channel right here. See this? Notice how we're in this channel right there. You know, boom, trending up, boom, and then we just melt back down. So right now we're trading a little bit under the 50 SMA. So what could we assume now that this level of support broke through and this level also has been broken through? Let's go to the daily. Remember, these are 4 hours. These are 4 hour levels of support right there. Look at that, clean. We can expect to continue to the downside, actually. So using multiple confluences, as we broke under again and retraced, as you guys saw, we broke under and retraced. As you guys can see that the golden zone was hit. And take profit for was completely demolished. Oh my God, and it dropped almost, oh my God, look at it, dropped over 400 pips. Yo, that is crazy. That is crazy, crazy, crazy. That is insane. That is crazy. But as you guys can see, man, these are just using multiple confluences, 100%. Let me show you guys another example. Australian dollar. Let's go to the Australian dollar. Okie dokie. This is a 4 hour chart, guys. So what do we have? We have this new high right here breaking above this one, this previous high. This is resistance as we broke through. Let's go to the 1 hour. Okie dokie. Let's find the support. We got this little form of support right here, guys. And as you guys can see, here on the 4 hour, using our multiple confluences, we are very much on a uptrend. We had this high break above this high, also this high. We went to the smaller time frame. As you guys can see, we had a pullback. Let's go back to the 4 hour. If we draw Fibonacci from here to here, what do we have? We have our golden zone being hit. Now let's go and make this smaller. Let's go to 30 minute. Lock that up. So this is the 30 minute right here, which is also a form of support on the big side right here, looking to the left. And as you guys can see, what do? We formed some type of support right here after hitting the golden zone, and then boom, as you guys can see, candles start to get smaller on this side, and using multiple confluences to the upside, you guys can see that we had 38 rejections, which mean 38 continuation. Remember, we don't use those, but we use them kind of sometimes in confluence to see if we're still in the good or not. Remember, we don't use those. You don't need to use those. And as you guys can see, we had 3 rejections and we had a whole bunch of continuation, and we just kept going and going and going. And boom, we just kept going and going and going. Look at that. Did not stop. We kept going and going. Beautiful. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. So now, look what happens. After we hit take profit 3, we start to get in a range because at this point, remember, we're on an uptrend. We're channeling to the upside. Let's go to 30 minute. We're on a 30-minute uptrend, as you guys can see. And then we start to side channel. And as you guys saw on the side channel, boom. As you see, looking to the future, we break down again. So, as you guys can see, guys, going from the higher time frames and then coming back down to smaller time frames, it's really easy to put all your confluences all in one plate, so that way you guys can see, like, hey, look, man, this is a really good trade. This is a really good trade. So let's go to Euro NZD. Choppy setup. Choppy setup. Okie dokie. So let's go to the 4 hour right here. What do you guys see? Clear as day. We have a downtrend. As you guys can see, a channel going down that way. Just gonna leave it there. It doesn't really matter this bottom one. I'm not focused on that one, just because it's not gonna go forever to the downside. So just leave the one on top, because what we're waiting for is side channel, after the down channel, and then the up channel. So as you guys can see, we're clearly on a down channel right here. Replay, there you go. We're clearly on a down channel. We're channeling to the downside, continuously breaking forms of support. This is a nice one right here. This form of support that was broken on the 4 hour, just extremely melted right after it respected it, as you guys can see. Now, I'm going to go to the 1 hour right here. Now, what do we start to see? We start to form some type of support here in the 1 hour. So one thing that I'm going to do here also is I'm going to draw a form of resistance right here. And I'm just going to press play really quick. So look at this. We officially break through this resistance. So now what are we thinking? If we go back to the 4 hour, we can draw our Fibonacci from here to here. And as you guys can see, we're a little bit above the golden zone, approaching the channel. So let's go back to the 30 minute. No, let's go back to the 1 hour, sorry. And as you guys can see, running a Fibonacci from here to the downside. Just going to press play. Look at this. Golden zone being respected after coming back to retest previous resistance, respecting it completely on our multiple confluences. We have the downtrend of the trend line. We have our resistance right here. We have our golden zone. We have, as you guys can see, a very aggressive cross right there on our moving averages. Super aggressive. And then boom, came back, as you guys can see, and bam, started to come down. Beautiful, just melting, just melting. So as you guys can see here, remember how I said that our support and resistance are always going to act like some form of magnets, you know what I'm saying? So if you would have sold here, realize that it would have came back down, and if it would have broke through this form of support, you could have realized, hey, look, it's going to probably come back and test this one. And you could have caught over 178 pips, which is really lovely, by the way. So see how we worked our way from the 4 hour to the 1 hour. Now look at this. Let's look at the 30 minute. Yes, I know my chart is looking a little bit cluttered. So now I'm just going to clean it. Now look, let's do the same thing. Let's play our form of support and resistance here. Boom, let's go to the Fibonacci. Now look at this. If you didn't want to enter there, you could have noticed you could have used this form of Fibonacci to kind of get this little ripple effect. And as you guys can see, it came back, worked out perfectly. So now let's go to the 4 hour. One hour, just because it looks a little bit cleaner. So look at that. If you didn't want to enter directly off of here, you could have entered on the retracement right there for a little bit of confidence due to the fact that this was honestly a little bit scary. So now look at this. Let's go back to the 30-minute because I don't want to confuse you guys. We had our entry on the Fibonacci there, as well as forming some type of resistance. So you could have done just this move right here as well. We had the Fibonacci to be safe right here, a little bit under the golden zone with protection of our resistance. Or you could have just done what we did. Form a resistance and then boom. You could have scalped this, easy. You could have had stops above the previous wick right there to be safe. A little bit above this one, little 40 pip stop loss. Could have had it under here, but I would have had about a 40 pip stop loss just because my gain is humongous. And then target over here as well. And look at that, that's making 4 times your risk right there. So I mean, you had multiple ways to enter on this one. Either way, you're still in a 4-hour Fibonacci sell. You know what I'm saying? So you're still Gucci to keep going in there. Now, we're still channeling, and as you guys can see, it was super aggressive push to the downside, and it just completely melted. So, I mean, at the end of the day, guys, this is what using multiple confluences is. You basically go starting from your higher time frames and then working your way to the smaller time frames, putting everything in confluence, as in your Fibonacci, with your support and resistance, looking for supply and demand zones to kind of target, just like the one we just showed here, which is basically a form of support and resistance, and then following the channel. So, yeah, guys, that's basically what multiple confluences is. Anyways, thank you guys. See you in the next one.